Hey, what's going on? Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com. On today's video, I want to talk about this kind of problem going on with modern women and this discussion that has been rampant all over YouTube and the internet. And it's just a conversation that I've kind of stayed out of for a little while, but now I'm starting to formulate my opinions on this, and I wanted to share them with you. But yes, I do believe that modern women, a lot of these women these day and age, are causing some problems, and they are saying some things that are hypocritical. I'll talk about that in just a second, and also just giving bad advice to other men, and that's what's causing some of these big problems. And I wanted to share some of this with you because I want to make sure you don't get caught up in this trap or get confused when you hear modern women talking about some of these topics. I want you to kind of stay focused on what the correct way to attract women is and what the best way for you to go about this whole dating thing is. So let's just start with one of the first things that seems to be a problem that I'm hearing from modern women. Well, they're being very hypocritical, right? So they're saying things like they don't need a man, right? And I'm not saying that they do need a man. I'm telling you, this is what they are saying. A lot of them are saying, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. Okay, that's fine. But then at the same time, what makes that hypocritical and a little strange that they're saying that is the fact that they're also wanting a man to pay the bills or be the one who picks up the first date. Okay, so this is a big conversation. It's been going on for decades about who should pay for the first date. Now, I'm in the belief that men should pay for the first date, but that's a whole discussion altogether. My point here is it's very hypocritical to say that you don't need a man, but all of a sudden when the first date comes around and the bill comes, then all of a sudden you want him to pay. What happened to this whole equality thing? I think it'd be better if a woman said something like, well, I don't need a man, and therefore then made sure that she splits the bill no matter what. Okay, that would make them at least look the least hypocritical possible if they wanted to look that way. I also don't like that a lot of these modern women are saying things that are putting down men. Like a lot of this is like they're putting down men in order to bring themselves up. And I know that a lot of women are saying like, well, women have been put down for years and they couldn't vote and they couldn't own property and all these things. And I understand that, but I don't think it's going to help to put down men and call everything toxic masculinity and talking about things that men are doing completely wrong only to bring them up as in a way that they're saying that females are superior to men. This is a big problem too. All right, next is they are trying to say that they want men to be masculine and feminine at the same time. Okay? So what they're saying is they want you, okay, you who's listening, they want you to be feminine, but they also want you to be masculine. What does this mean? Well, they want you to be vulnerable, right? So they say, oh, men should be vulnerable and talk about his feelings and all that stuff. Let me tell you something. The only reason, no one's talking about this, okay? The only reason why women are saying that they want a man to be vulnerable is because of their own insecurities, thinking that the man doesn't like them. So they know that if a man is vulnerable with them, then he likes them. That's the kind of deep analysis there. Okay, but this is a problem because they're saying to all their guy friends and they're putting out to the world, guys, be vulnerable, be vulnerable. And this is getting really confusing because the man's like, oh, okay, well, I'll be vulnerable. I'll tell a woman all my problems. And then what happens? Well, she starts to become unattracted to him now that he's puking all of his emotions and problems onto her, when men should be working those things out on their own, talking to therapists and talking to their friends and not trying to get a woman to solve his problems. So they want him to be feminine, but then of course they're also saying, oh, they want him to be masculine, do all the masculine things. So we're getting these kind of two ideas here. It's confusing men, it's causing problems. The next one, the big problem here is a conversation that's happening between modern women is that they think that their career and they think that their studies and degrees and all those things are what men find attractive, okay? And now here's the thing. This has nothing really to do with you. I guess if any women are watching, maybe they'll get some advice here, but I think it's an interesting conversation that women are thinking that when they are getting higher in education status or financial status, that's more attractive. But we know as guys, that's not really that attractive to us. Yeah, it might be maybe to some guys a little bit like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. She's super smart, whatever. Oh, that's awesome. Like, oh, she's got a doctorate. Then you might think, oh, that's kind of sexy, but it's not really doing much for you in terms of attraction. You know what makes you attracted to a woman. I don't even have to say it. Okay, so the issue is that they're thinking that, but here's where it gets tough. Then I come on and I say something like, oh, that's actually not that attractive. Or all these other dating coaches are saying it too, that's not attractive. And they're like, that's the man trying to keep the woman down. No, it's not. I don't care what women do. I don't think that they shouldn't get have more money. I don't think that they shouldn't get more of an education. Of course, if they want to do that, they can do that. But what they've got to know is that's not attractive to a man necessarily, okay? And that they have to work on more things that are more feminine that will be more attractive to a man. So there you go. These are some things to think about. I might be making more videos. Press a like if you want me to make more videos on this topic and this big conversation that's going around YouTube. Happy to do it. It's interesting to have this conversation with you, and we'll see where this video takes us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.